Hi, it's me, Anya, and welcome back to Cozy Room Podcast. Hey guys, it's Artie. Welcome back to Cozy Room.
Womb, girl.
Woo, girl.
Welcome back to Cozy Room Podcast. My name is Shan. I am the mama of the girls. This is episode 15. Hey, good morning. Today I wanted to talk about depersonalizing the situation. I did it. Because when you're affected by something, it's so hard to not make overhearing someone else go through something similar and put yourself in it, or just hear someone else close to you talk about something similar and put your situation in it. And it's really annoying. It can really come off like you're narcissistic. It can really come off like you don't care. And so you have to do a lot of work to be aware of it. We all experience having something to talk about and you start oversharing when you thought you were just sharing a little bit. And sometimes I find myself holding back and listening to people tell me everything before I give my opinion if they want it. Sometimes I don't even give my opinion. I don't want to interrupt someone's own experience and bully my experience on top of it. I think it's very rude. And when it comes to children, let's face it, they're going to go through some things and we're going to tell them, oh, this is exactly what it is because this happened to me when I was your age, or I'm going to tell you what your friend is doing, when you don't even know the facts. You know some about it, but you don't know the facts. You don't know for sure that that's what's happening. But you can say, oh, that sounds similar to something I was dealing with. Cutting somebody off who wants to vent to you or talk to you, especially if it's your kid, it might be the last time they talk to you about anything. Because you would hate that too. And it's the same thing if you flip it. You don't want anybody cutting you off when you're trying to explain their own experience. Everything is not your situation is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes you do have to hold back when you hear things that may trigger you from your past and tell your kids, like, this is what's happening. This is what's going to happen, because they're not going to be in a position where they want to share anything with you as a parent. So I'm talking about depersonalizing the situation. And this is Cozy One Podcast. Thank you for coming back. All right, my thoughts on a lot of things that these children that I'm raising are going to go through is I'm making it a point to be a better listener. I'm making it a point to have one-on-one discussions with them about, what do you need from me? What am I not doing? What's some issue you had with me for the last 3 months? What is something we need to work on? What's something we need to do less of? What's something we need to do more of together? Just so I can get a better idea of where I am as a parent, and they can get a better idea of how they can be a better child of mine. Because feedback is something your child is always going to deal with in high school, if they go to college, the workplace. Reviews are something that your child is going to deal with. Relationships with friends or romantic is something that your child will deal with. And being self-aware, being accountable, and knowing how to communicate and have discussions without yelling or breaking things or fighting starts at home. It starts with a parent and child. Did my parent give me the space to ask questions? Did my parent give me the space to talk about what I don't like that they did to me? Did my parents give me the space to say, hey, you hurt my feelings? Did my parents give me the guidance I needed to know what I needed to do at 25, to know what I needed to do at 30. Did I ever hear my parents say this? My parent never allowed me to speak up for myself. Like, you don't want that later on, so just make it a thing that you do with your family now. And so that's my thoughts on that. Let's go ahead and listen to this table topics card, the 2 cards, and then we'll get into the meat of the episode. I promise. All right, so it's table topics time. Let's do 2 cards. Which part of your life is the most mysterious? My current love life, because I don't share it. Okay, second card. Are you in competition with any of your friends or family? No, I am not. But I will say my friends and I push each other, always share new opportunities for each other to grab, always looking out to pass this one on, refer this one, send this company this email. I'm not around people who are jealous of the next person's growth, and I love that for me. And you should get some friends who are like that too for you. Now, let's get back into the episode.
Hey sis, if you don't like getting attention at the gym or while running errands, you might want to skip this ad. But if you're like me and love to be asked, where did you get those leggings? Or that hoodie is cute, where did you get it from? Well, then let me tell you about 1977 Hustle Lane. 1977 Hustle Lane is where fly gear and dope culture live. From your leggings to your tanks and of course to your hoodies, they will always have you feeling and looking your absolute best. So stop what you're doing and go check them out at www.1977hustlalane.com, on Facebook at 1977 Hustle Lane, or on Instagram at 1977 Hustle Lane. I promise you won't regret it.
If your child's a teenager, preteen, or in college, I'm going to tell you right now, the experience is not exactly yours. It's theirs, but when they let you in, just know it's a compliment if they let you in. When I was a little girl, I was a victim of molestation, and I didn't have a supportive family, and part of my mom's depression, I feel like, and guilt comes from it. But her experience when she was a little girl in Jamaica was similar. Her mom, the difference between her and her mom is her mom shunned her away. Her mom told her to shut up and that she shouldn't speak about it. And she buried it. She buried it inside her. And my mom chose to love me through it, right? And so for me as a mom, yeah, I have those fears. So I do limit my children sleeping over everyone's house. I limit a family open door. So we all know you have that aunt or that uncle where you can not see them in 2 years and you can fly to the city, get your own ride to their house, and you just know that door is going to be open, like literally unlocked and open, and you can walk in. And I think that's the most unsafe life to live, to where everybody can just come over, everybody can just walk in your house, anybody can walk in your house off of the street. So I'm not close with a lot of my relatives, but the ones I am close with, the ones who do understand me, they could come see me, but they know to call and let me know. Right? There's no one randomly pulling up in my driveway or coming to stay the weekend and not letting me know ahead, right? But growing up, that was my experience. Like, people didn't announce themselves. They just popped up and it was just accepted. And I don't want that experience, because I need to know what's going on in my home, who's in my home. Are they bringing peace or are they bringing ruckus? And so my daughters don't know a lot of people that I grew up with on purpose. And I talk to them about their bodies and boundaries on purpose. And I make sure my girls respect themselves. And I make sure that They know they can talk to me about everything, and the girls stay self-aware. And my experience, I have like this initiative in me not to make it theirs or their problem or something they should make sure never happens, because they can't, and it's not for them to, it's not their fight, right? But it is my purpose to make them feel protected, make them feel safe, make them feel like nothing's going to happen to them in their home, make them feel like wherever they go, around friends or family of mine, they're cool, they're safe. It's like another home outside of our house, right? And I want them to understand what friendship or family is. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do family and friends show up for you? How should you show up for family and friends, right? And I could be filled with a lot of hate or disdain for people because of my experience, but I don't. But I do have like strict boundaries. And I do understand that once someone rubs me the wrong way or shows their character to me, I can't deal with them in that same capacity. Most times I remove them out of my circle, meaning I don't have to see you for years. I don't have to talk to you for years. You don't know my phone number. I'm not trying to talk to who you talk to. I'm not trying to be at no event you about to be at. I'm not trying to pull up to see you. If it's special holidays, don't expect me. Like, I'm like that with a lot of people. But what kind of life would I give my children if I was super guarded and I had no one and I had no friends and they had no family and they knew nobody, and it was just something I shunned and said, don't talk about it. We're not talking about it. Like, no. And if you're struggling with something that happened to you as a dad or a mom, you need to go do your own work somewhere else. And when I say that, I mean like therapy. And then you need to come home and you need to allow your children to play. You need to allow your children to go places safely with people you trust. Or you go with them places and you allow them to meet people and you allow them to have friends and you allow them to explore your home. But you just make sure it's safe. You just make sure you know who's in your home. You make sure you know the background of the people you have around your kids. Okay? But we have to stay positive. We have to learn people. We have to be selective of who, where, and where you spend your time. And are you continuously leaving your children at this person's house that has anybody pulling up and staying over? And is it becoming a habit where somebody be like, oh, I know she could bring such and such over here. I could just wait till she drop them off and do whatever. Like, my thing is, I don't want anybody seeing a pattern of how I'm living so they can make any moves on me. I can't peep. I think balance is everything. And I think everyone needs to take their time from people. Everyone needs to have a day to themselves or half a day to themselves. Your children need time away from you and you need time away from your children. Your parents need time away from your children and you need time away from your parents. Like, people can't just grow and live up under everyone because they're scared of what could happen because it happened to them. And it's very important for me to depersonalize my experience from theirs, but just be aware of it and make them aware of it, right? And so being violated at a young age for me is a very out of body experience, but we have to be fair when raising our kids so we don't punish their experiences with the world because of what happened to us. And as your kids get older, if they ask questions, you gauge your details. Like, no one's telling you have to do this, and you have to tell them this, and you have to be specific, and you have to tell them the stuff that you pace yourself. You pace yourself and you tell them as you see fit, right? And so my thing is, like, I'm always trying to be better with my kids, and you should be better with yours. I will always be the protection person, and I will always strive to be the parent they need. And ask your kids what they need from you. And if you have like a child that likes to hug all the time, listen, give it to them. Let them hug you. And if you have a child that's not really affectionate, hug them. Because when you don't do these things, you help children grow up and build a wall with people. And then they'll struggle to have certain relationships with people. And they'll struggle when they do have kids showing affection with their kids because they never felt it or they didn't know how to go about it. Sometimes people are awkward. And sometimes people are awkward out of fear. People are awkward because they've never tried, or they're scared to try, or they don't want to be embarrassed. Sometimes people are just like, I don't like that. And it's okay to not like something, but what's not okay is to give the next person this illusion like you're going to be this one day. You're just waiting for the right person or the right time. And some people are just not loving people. Some people are just not affectionate. Some people just don't care about anyone outside of themselves. Some people don't even care about themselves. And so it's very important to know how to communicate that with other people, know how to communicate that with your kids, know how to give them the space to put their words together to tell you, respect their thoughts on things with boundaries, but please don't overtake your experience with their lives that they're living right now, because it's different. Might be similar, but it's different. And so I just wanted to share that. Hopefully that helps somebody. Don't be a super overbearing parent because you're trying to prevent something because you're scared. It's okay to be scared, but it's not fair to put your child in this bubble where they don't learn anything, where they don't develop because you never gave them the space to try, right? But anywho, that's all. This was Cozy Woman Podcast. You can find me at shambypodden.com. I share the podcast on LinkedIn sometimes, so if you put in hashtag Cozy Woman Pod or podcast, you might find the podcast clip on there. You can find all the clips of the show on Twitter.
When you visit Arizona, time is measured in moments, not minutes. Like the moment you see the Grand Canyon for the first time. Visit a new state of mind. Learn more at hereyouareaz.com.
And on Twitter, I believe is hashtag CZYWMB pod or podcast. I can't remember. And then IG, same thing. The CZYWMB pod. I think that's what it is. And just look for the current icon of the podcast where it's the girls when they were little. And y'all be good and y'all be great and y'all have a safe week, and just prepare to prevent. Okay? That is parenting. Prepare to prevent problems. Prepare to prevent things missing. Prepare to prevent last minute things needed. Peace.